Well, good morning. This is Nicola Liberty with Cowgirls and Spurs, and I am in my art studio. This is a pre-recorded video for you to enjoy some stuff that I'm getting ready to sell at the farmer's market. So I'm trying a new thing out. I love our farmer's market up here in the mountains. It is a beautiful space. It's a beautiful community, and I'm getting my wares ready to sell. So today we're going to be making one of the creations that I kind of came up with in my head using some of the scraps and materials that I have done in a couple videos and a couple lives actually prior to this pre-recorded video. So just kind of trying to mix it up a little bit with my videos and let you see how technical I'm trying to become. So good morning to you. All right, here's my bag of tricks in my African market basket. I love my baskets. As I've told you in some of my lives, you can find these at cowgirlsandspurs.com/shop. That's where you can find them. And I love them. I take these to the farmers markets. I keep my crafts when I'm going to be doing a tutorial for you. This is where I put all my supplies so I can go through it. I'm finding I'm getting a little organized. I love it. Okay. In my bag of tricks, this is what I've got going on for you today. I am trying to clean up my scrap wood. I love scrap wood. It doesn't matter to me what size the scrap wood is. If it's workable, if it's old, if it's rustic, if it's barnwood, if it's new, just scraps that I'm not going to use, I grab it because I can do something with it. Even if I cut it down, I can do a lot with it. And plus, you know, sometimes when they're warped, I use this kind of warped wood for my bow blocks. The Law Liberty bow block, again, cowgirlsandspurs.com, you can find it. So when I refer to things, I am trying to make my website the hub so you can always find the things I reference. I'm getting there. It's work in progress, like me. So yesterday I was a guest presenter in one of the VIP groups from Melanie Ferguson. It was a wonderful presentation. I loved it. The ladies were amazing, and we have some leftover rope. Okay, so this is natural rope, cotton rope. I got this at the Dollar Tree when I was popping in there for some movie snacks. And I also have the leftovers from the project that we did on our live. Okay, so I have some extras. So you can get this at the Dollar Tree. Let me show you. It'll be backwards on my camera. But you can say that it's natural rope and it's cotton, and I think it's about 6 feet. You'll need a little bit more of that. So just get a couple of them because I really don't know. I haven't done this craft before. I was hoping that we could just do it together and see how it goes before I get going. Now, normally what I would do is I would dip my rope in a stiffening agent like 50-50 solution of Elmer's glue. I'm not going to try that this time. The reason is because what I have planned, I don't know that I can do all that prepping. So I'm going to do the gluing after, if that makes sense. It's just another way to get the end result that we love, which is stiffening of natural materials or fabrics and just doing it afterwards. So let me show you how I'm going to do it. I have my black Valspar sample paint. I have my white. I have my Fun Ranger ink distress paint that's for vintage photo. Haven't used it for that, but I've been using it for all kinds of other fun stuff. Painter's tape. My favorite pea pads that I use for puppy training, but also for crafting. Hello, double usage. And then I also introduced in the project that I did the other day. Let me show you the project that I did the other day. This is what we did in our guest presentation. And so that I posted this video up on cowgirlsandspurs.com/video gallery. It's in, go to cowgirlsandspurs.com. It's in the video gallery. That's where you can find my most recent videos that I've been doing on Facebook or pre-recorded or on Vimeo. And anyway, I introduced this little bandana. Looks like an oversized napkin. Came in a 2-pack. I got it at Walmart. One I crafted with and the other one I saved. It's kind of like, let me get closer because it's a little nauseating when I'm moving it. So it's cute. It's like a little buffalo check in red and blue. Anyway, we're going to use that today. So let me keep my pad out. put my paints aside. I have to get organized. I need the wood. I'm not ready for this yet. And also I have my diluted solution of Elmer's glue. We're going to be using that today, but we're also going to be using some Gorilla Wood glue. Okay, I didn't take that out of my bag of tricks because I spaced out. That's why. Okay, let me protect my table because it's already got paint and stuff on it. You know, I have learned the more I'm in front of you guys that I love to craft and stand up. Sitting down is great, but when I'm on camera for you, I like to stand up. I just like to move. I like to dance. I like to, you know, animate. What do you think of that? I like to animate. All right, bring my protective layer here. Let's just call it our craft pads is in position. Now you're not going to be able to see the whole board, but you know my teaching style by now, and I show you as I go. I try to break things down by steps. What we're going to do right now is just treat the board. We're going to create a background for it, a background color for what I have planned. And what I'm going to use is the tail end of my Valspar sample white. I need to get some more, but we're just going to use the tail end. So I'm just going to take a little bit of water from my brush. I'm kind of dipping my brush in just this water to thin it out a little bit. And I'm just going to start kind of dry brushing the thick over in spots. So now dry brushing, the goal to dry brushing is to drag off the majority of the paint off of your brush so that you don't have a thick consistency, and it creates more of an aged look in the beginning stages of it. Can you see that? So the wood kind of grabs chunks and then the paint kind of brushes out, and that's dry brushing. Now I'm kind of doing a little bit of both where I'm clumping and dragging because I do want the wood to grab sections because I want that shabby chic kind of distress look. And as I'm going with my paintbrush, let me just kind of bring it up like this. I'm sorry. I live on a ranch. My horses, when they make noises, I gotta stop, assess. Stop and assess. Forgot I turned out my mares. Gonna be loud today. All right, here we go. So what I'm doing is when I first get to a replenishing of paint on my brush, there's gonna be more paint on my brush at that time than there is after several strokes. So be mindful of that. And when you start to do, like say it's really heavy right here, it's not heavy right here. I'm not gonna come in and make down here my first stroke with this glob of paint I have on here. I'm also gonna dip it in a little bit more water so that it'll smooth itself a little bit more over the wood. Okay, does that make sense? So I'm gonna add a little bit more water because I kind of want to stretch some of this over the wood a little bit more. So I'm not adding more paint, I'm just dipping my brush into the water and really just kind of bleeding out what's left on my brush and kind of long stroking it all the way through the wood. So it looks very blotchy now. I keep saying, don't worry about it because this is layer one. When we paint together, I paint in many stages. It's not the first coat, that's it, make it perfect on the first time. I really believe that you need to kind of work it in a little bit more, creating dimension and layers so that you get the desired effect of what you're going for. And right now, my desired effect is just have a basic white pigment. See, there's an area right there, especially over that knot. I kind of want to bring in a little bit more paint, dip it in water, and I kind of want to go over that just a little bit, using the camera to kind of fill in what I'm missing backwards. Okay, I think that looks pretty good to me for now. I'm going to put my brush in water. Okay, I'm really having a fun time creating faux fence boards. Really having a great time with it. And so today is no different. I'm gonna bring in my heat tool. I don't wanna get too close. I'm gonna be using painter's tape on this wood on top of the paint that I just put in here. And so what I don't want is any sheen or shine on my wood. So I'm coming in not too close because I don't want to fry the wood. Okay, so most of the sheen is gone. A little bit down here, a little bit down here. All right. Okay. You know what? We may have company in a little bit in this video because I forgot to tell my daughter and my husband that I was going to be doing a video down below. It was kind of a jump on whim. I felt inspired. Here we are. Okay, I'm reusing tape. I really love to reuse tape. Why not? I mean, it's still got many sticky lives in it, and I just kind of try to recycle. And these are already in kind of the thickness, I think. I don't know. I'm just going to reuse it because I can. I don't want to throw it away. It's expensive. So what I'm going to do now is you can see most of the board. The edge is right here and the edge is right here. And I'm going to kind of show you, lift it up so that you can see what I'm doing. And so I have it horizontal here, and so I also have my tape horizontal here. And what I want to do is create a line straight down and vertical, I'm sorry, not vertical, but parallel to the edge. So in your mind, use your ledge here, your little edge here as a gauge for how straight. So I'm off a little bit. If you can see this, this went down a little bit here. In this regard, I always tell you we do not paint, craft for perfection, rather. But in this case, we want to be kind of straight. Do the best you can. Just do the best you can. We want it to be straight. So if it's off a little bit, no big deal. Don't fuss over it. Don't make yourself crazy over it. But don't make it as wonky as, you know, a mountain bike track or something. Just go straight. Just go straight. Try and do straight. Okay, so here's the first one. No, see, I don't like it. I'm going to go a little bit. I think the board's warped because it's a wonky board. All right, there's my first one. That's the best I'm gonna do. Okay, that is my first video. My husband just peeked in the window and I was thinking he knows now I'm on the video, and that's what came out of my brain. Okay, so I'm gonna take another piece of tape and I am going to come as close as I can to this edge as I can. Okay, so let me show you. Let me turn it this way so that the paint stays the same direction. And I'm talking just a couple centimeters. Don't go big, huge gaps. It's just the spacing between the fence boards that we're creating. Okay. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna peel off another piece of this tape. I love that I'm reusing the tape. How easy is this? Okay, and then I'm just going to carry it off to the edge, following along the same path as the other tape so that I can get a nice clean gap. All right, here we go. Oop, I don't want that to happen. So pick it up and straighten it. The only thing you don't want to see happen that just happened to me, and I'll show you, just let me fix it and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Making sure that it's solid. It's really down, it's solid. Okay, so let me just show you right here. See right here where my tape, there's a little edge right here where my tape is overlapping because, you know, my pieces, I'm reusing them, so I'm kind of patching them together. The tip here went into my line. This is where I'm going to be applying my paint, so I want a nice clean edge there. So that's what I picked up and fixed so that now I have a nice clean edge and I don't have kind of that tip going in and breaking up that straight line. So that's kind of what I was referring to. So we're gonna create this one, and then we're gonna do another one right here. So this time I'm gonna go lengthwise so you can see from a different angle. This one I think I'm just gonna have to go double wide here because it's being kind of ornery, splitting apart. That's okay, we can work with it. Okay, we need this one here. Ooh, look at you being all not straight. We may have to use something else. Let me get this one off. Yeah, this one's not gonna work. All right. See, super simple. Let me grab my next batch and see if I can grab some tape off of this. If it doesn't let you recycle it, just move on. Go get yourself your tape roll and just start rolling out some tape. We try to recycle as often as we can, but don't make yourself crazy. Just like that. Joy in my heart, right? We're just gonna crafting for joy in Jesus. All right, ladies, listen. We're going on a road trip sometime soon. I can't wait. I'm gonna hopefully be able to share some of it with you along the way when I get back, and I can upload videos and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what we're doing. We're just kind of chit-chatting and talking it out. All right. So as I get going here and I just keep going, you know, sometimes I just like to lose myself in the process. I just like to kind of do craft just to kind of get your thoughts together and just to kind of, you know, get your head in the game, so to speak. You know, you just got to kind of do something with your hands to get your head in the game. That's what I have to do multiple times. Just kind of share my thoughts. I spend some time in prayer and singing songs in my head, and you know, it's just a wonderful time. It's like sitting out on the porch or the deck or out on your yard and just having a cup with Joe. You know, spending time with the Lord. And all right, I'm gonna have to break out to finish this guy. I'm gonna break out my paint. Okay, so listen, this one's gonna be dang cute. I can already see it. In my mind's eye, I can already see it's gonna be fantastic. And then this one will go into my farmer's market batch for my farmer's market showing. I am so excited. I'll keep you guys updated on what we're doing. We're going to be at the Peaceful Valley Farmer's Market on the 23rd of July. And I'm just excited. I get to sell all my fun stuff that I've been making and crafting and creating for you guys. As much as I would love to keep everything, it gets a little eclectic is what I meant to say. Okay, we are all taped up and ready to go. Isn't it fabulous? Look at how beautiful it is. You ready to do the next step? Okay. So I use sponge brushes over and over again in what I do because I don't like to waste brushes. And so I have a couple here that are newbies, and then I have a couple of ones that I'm going to use over again, just kind of looking around. So here's my newbie, and then I have a couple that I'm going to use because I think they just have a little bit more life in them. Let me clean up a little bit because I'm already getting a little distracted, and you know I like to be cleaned up. Okay, here's another one right here. Okay, so I'm going to take our black paint. Another reason why I love to use these little crafting pads is because I can actually kind of get messy. I can spill, I can pour paint out. If I need to have some, you know, dabbing, or if I need a dry brush because I'm dipping my brush in the paint and I just need a little bit more of a drier look, right on the pea pad. You're not wasting paper towels. You know, you're not doing all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm drying out my black. I dried it out really good. So it's just kind of, there's a little pigment on the side that I can pull from. And so I'm gonna come in right now with my black and kind of with my wedge sideways, just like this. I'm kind of just doing a dry brushing, pulling in some of the pigment from the side across my little tiny stripes. Just like that. Go up a little bit. Can you see that? And just carry it all the way down the board. Okay, doing a little more dry brushing, picking up a little bit more pigment. Now, if you noticed when I showed you, I was thicker in some areas. I left a little of the white underneath exposed. I didn't go all the way over to the side. I didn't go everywhere. Okay, I'm dropping pigment. I'm dry brushing pigment. I'm leaving some exposed areas, and there's a reason for that. Okay, you really want to make sure your tape is laid down. I also want to show you that my strokes are going with the length of my stripe. I'm not painting sideways this way. I want that to be clear, because what we don't want to happen while we're trying to create some dimension in these lines, we don't want pigment going underneath the tape. That defeats the purpose of the tape. Okay, done with my black. Now, this is very liquidy. This is this Ranger Ink Distress Paint Vintage Photo Color. Look at the color. It's kind of a golding, but it's just the perfect, I don't know what it is about it. I'm just in love. I'm in love. I love it. Like I said in previous videos, I got this off of the clearance section because basically that's all they had left. It was a double pack, I think, of distressing. And so all I did was dollop. You can still see a little bit of the paint on the sponge I used in the black. Let me pull this up for you because I really want you to see. This is why I love this table, because I can lean in. All right, so I've done this one right here already. And so this one, all I'm kind of coming in is just really just drying this pigment over, going right over the top of the black. Just right over the top of the black like that. Going all the way up to the edge, but being careful at the edge. And then coming in, again, same thing, dry brushing it, using every angle of the brush I can to kind of get that pigment in there. I used a couple drops, no more than a couple drops. Just like that. Okay, there you go. Put your brush away, put your paints away. In my case, lay the board flat. Okay, I'm breaking out my heat gun again because I want to dry the paint. Don't go too close. You don't want to fry it. You just want to take the sheen away. You want to know it's dry enough to work with. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove my tape. So nice and quiet in here. Oh my goodness. So nice and quiet. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Okay. So this is what we are left with. Okay? We are now left with individual boards. So one straight board, and the reason why I didn't paint the back yet is because I wanted to show you this is what we had, and now this is what we have. So we're starting our fencing. This is going to look like fencing when we're done. The back, we're going to paint that so it doesn't show. It's a finished back. It's a nice back if you want to hang this, if you want to lean it, however you want to use this board once we decorate the front. It's going to be versatile, but really the front is the focal. You can even do it if you wanted to do this technique. You could do reversible so that you have one maybe designed for one season of like a porch leaner, for instance, or a shelf leaner where you had something here and you got tired of it and you went boop, new perspective. Okay, so that's an option as well too. I'm not going to do that for my farmer's market booth, but I am going to show you what I am going to do. And I'm just going to really focus on the front, and I will finish the back so that it's nice and clean. When I post pictures, I'll show you how clean it ends up being. I am still going to be working with my brush here. Okay, so I have some black paint still left on the table here, and I'm not sure how much pigment's on there, but I'm gonna kind of find out. So now what I'm going to do is come in with my brush and go on my edges all the way around. Just kind of hit it with some leftover black and kind of drag it down with the grain of the wood. Okay, does that make sense? And then come in with, I know my poor sponge brush is on its way out. It's really on its way out. Okay, let me get all the edges and then we can lift it up because I have to switch the board around. Okay, so all I did was come in with a little bit of this darkness here to create some dimension of a finality of a board. So I'm gonna kind of switch it around. I need a little bit more pigment because it's pulling on my sponge a lot, which tells me the sponge is kind of breaking right here where the stick is. That's when I know it's time, close to time to getting a new brush. Okay. So you have to go to cowgirlsandspurs.com and go into my video gallery. Because now I'm going to kind of dry brush over the top, and I'm going to do this so you can see it, because right now, again, what I said is I like to create in layer and dimension. So right now, so far, we are on layer 3, right? The first layer was to get the white on there. The second layer was to get the lines and the pigment in your straight lines on there with the tape. And the third layer is creating this dimension. So I have gone around the outside of the boards. Can you see this right in here? This dimension in here. I've gone around the whole outside of the boards for this dimension. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I put a little bit more of this black on here because now I'm just going to drag what's left of pigment on here. You know, and I want it to pick up some of this dark. I really want it to pick up some of this black. Pushing in a little bit so it's got some grains in here. Okay. I love this wood. You can just start to really see the wood grains kind of coming up into the wood. Okay, all right. Put your paints away because we're done with your paints for right now. Now in the video that I wanted you to go see where I did this one here, when I was creating the fence boards for this project here, I'm just going to show you the edges because I showed you how to dog ear your wood so that when you have your fence boards in person, you can kind of see how we dog-eared our fence boards. Okay, here's the finished back, here's the finished sides, but here's how we dog-eared the fence boards. And so in that video, I show you how to do the dog ear effect using your paints to get that look. Going to kind of dry this up a little bit with this brush and put it aside. Okay. Banner time. I loved, you know, this is going to be quite an intensive, actually, pre-recorded video. I hope I have enough space on my phone to do this. Okay. So what I had in my mind was to create a tablecloth, so to speak, with this material. And so what I'd like to do is now just take my scissors and kind of cut along, because this is a little see-through, and I really kind of can see along the edge of this wood. I'm just going to take my scissors and cut roughly along the edge. Okay? And then again here, do the same thing right along the edge. I think I've been discovered. So we have a multi-level house and the whole lower level is my art studio and garage. And that's my hideout. It's my chick room. It's my crafting area. And I think I've just been discovered. Okay, I'm gonna leave the corners for right now because I'm not sure how I want to do this, but let me show you what I do want to do. Okay, I'm gonna move this aside for right now because we kind of created a table runner, if you will. Can you see that? Kind of like a little table runner. Okay, now remember when I said we were gonna bring in some wood glue? Now is the time where we are bringing in our wood glue. Okay, and I have my new brush here. Actually, I'm gonna use my old brush. I'm gonna see if I can get some more strokes out of this brush. And first off, what do you think of my polka dot painter's apron? So this is my wipe your hands on polka dot painter's apron. I'm so excited. These are the little things. It's just the little things. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna get some nice glue on there. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to my sponge brush, and I'm going to take my wood glue and just kind of go right over the top of the center area where I want to put my bandana. I've been discovered. Shh, I've been discovered. She found me, folks. She found me. She found me. Now she knows. Dang it. Okay, oop, I got a string on here. Let me get the string. All right, here we go. I'm just getting a nice, we got a little sidetracked, everyone. All right, here we go. So I've got a lot of goop on here that I can use. So I'm just gonna kind of lay it on my mat, coming back in with my fancy bandana, and I'm just gonna kind of lay it over the top of my fun little wood contraption. Just like this. Kind of straightening it out as best as you can. Move it if you need to move it. Lift it up and kind of stretch it out so that it's, you know, not super straight, but kind of even on both sides. Okay. There we go. Now I really want to stretch it and I really want to kind of smooth it, smash it, and get it secured. Okay, so I am going to come in with my brush, the one I just used. Let me just show you where we're at. Okay, so the fence boards are bleeding through. So this looks like I have a table runner on top of my fence boards. And so now what I'm going to do is kind of go over the top of it with my wood glue. There's a little stain on my sponge from the last time I used this. And I'm gonna kind of just come in here and see if I can fabric glue decoupage right over the top of this table runner to really get it to adhere to my board. Sometimes when you're dragging it, it creates folds in the fabric. It's perfect. It's so authentic. I love it. It is so incredibly authentic. So how often when you are crafting, do you start off with one plan and then move yourself right into a completely different plan? Do you ever do that? Because I'm doing that right now. Okay, I'm gonna bring in a little bit extra of my diluted glue because I really want my fabric in certain areas to be really stiff and stuck to my board. Okay. All right. So originally I had planned this for a vertical display, but I'm kind of thinking I might want more of a horizontal display. Okay, so there's where I'm at. So when you get kind of close, you can see that there's these boards in between. It doesn't have a wood texture. It has a fence board texture. Does that make sense? So originally my plan was to do something this way, but I really think I'd rather go this way. So let me dry this a little bit. We're working on 35 minutes. Now, because I have glue on here and I really want this to stick to my board, I'm going to dry this so that it loses all the shine, And while I'm doing that, I'm going to plug in the glue gun I neglected to plug in. Look at this, multitasking. I'm multitasking. I am plugging and drying at the same time. Oh my gosh, this is so sweet. This is gonna be so cute. Okay, in my mind, I wish you were in my mind because we're gonna get there. It'll come out of my mind, but we're gonna have some fun here. Okay, another reason why I'm looking for some dryness right now is because what I'm gonna do next I need it to stick, and it's not gonna stick to a wet fabric. All right, it's almost there, guys, it's almost there. Break out your rope. You're gonna need your rope. Almost there. Good job. Okay, this is working out nicely. Good there, good there, good there. All right, here we go. So I said I wasn't sure what I was going to do over here, but I am going to trim it a little bit, and then I'll secure it to the edge later. So I'm going to kind of trim both sides here because it'll kind of overlap a little bit, but it won't be this long little tip. So let me just kind of show you what I've got going on so far right here. Okay, this is all dry. We've got our glue. We've got the impressions of boards underneath, which is really cool because it just creates another dimension of how cool we're upcycling our fence boards. Okay, I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna bring it. Let me get rid of this. I'm gonna go this way. Okay, you ready that way? I'm coming out this way. Okay, so I'm gonna start my writing here and I'm gonna work this way. And I'm still not sure what I'm going to do. Like I said, I started with one idea and now I'm in my head for another. And honestly, I think I just want to do this one. So I'm cutting off the taped ends. And so yes, I have a little bit of a fray here. So the area that's a little bit more frayed, I'm going to, as soon as I have some heat here on my hot glue, I'm going to hot glue it. And that's the edge I'm going to use. So while I'm waiting for my glue, you know, I got to do clean up. So it's, I've been a preschool teacher before. My auntie's a preschool teacher. I worked with the kiddos in MOPS. I have kiddos. I love kiddos. And so I love to do all kinds of fun stuff for kiddos. Now, kids can do this project as well. So if you want to do this with your grandkids or your kiddos, and create something fun, 4th of July wise, but this is very ranchy all year long. I love it. So anyway, I digress. So my youngest daughter, we had her in farm school when she was just in preschool, the farm school preschool. And so the lady there used to sing this song at cleanup time. And so I can't believe that as a grown woman, this song, every time I start to clean up, is in my head. And it goes like this, and you're welcome. It's cleanup time, let's put away all of our toys. It's cleanup time, let's help each other, girls and boys. You're welcome. Oh my goodness, okay, that's gonna be in your head now. All right, so I Let me see if, oh, I've got it good. I got it good. Okay, I'm gonna talk for a second and see if I can get just a little bit more juice out of it. So sometimes I don't know how to say this. Sometimes I do way more than I should. And this is one of those moments, so just bear with me. I'm gonna write with my glue gun, okay? I'm gonna write with my glue gun. So hold tight. Okay, so I know it got quiet so Nicole can focus. All right, now where I did my writing, I'm gonna start my rope, okay? Gotta cut it. Gotta be quick, okay? This is why I'm trying to be like, let me concentrate and then I'll show you what I just did, okay? Because this is so flippin' cute. Okay, you ready? All right, so my first letter was an H, and it's gonna be reversed for you. But I just made an H out of rope, okay? And I didn't cut off the area that I want to continue to use. And so I am going to continue to create my cursive lettering with my glue gun and then follow it with the rope, okay? So I got my first letter, and where I disconnected the rope is where you have to overlap. You don't want to overlap. You just want this to be a single letter. So you can overlap on a loop like I did right here, but where it ended on the H down here, you really just want to have that H have that end, because that's what you do. That's the cursive. You know, when you're cursiving, you have to pick up your pen and carry on. So that's where you would do the rope disconnection and then just attach it to the side. I hope I'm making sense. Okay, so here we go. I am going to come up here. Okay. Make sure you plug in your remote cordless glue gun if you're like me and you got one of these things and you're not super hand-eye coordinated when it comes to gluing and holding. There's a learning curve. I'm starting to like it. This is one of those, I know I need a battery operated one. Everyone's already commented and let me know I need a battery operated one, but this is one of those areas where I'm cheap, and until this one kaputs, I won't do it. Okay, so here we go again. I'm just going to continue, and then I'm going to show you where I'm going with this. I almost wish I would have done this video as a live, because I think it is just really just super sweet. Okay. Okay. Cursive with rope. Cursive with rope. Okay. Okay, so there we are so far. And it says H, cursive H, E, and I'm making a Y. So it'll say hey. Okay. Okay, I need a little bit more of my rope for the bottom part of my Y. Okay. I knew this was going to be such a long video. I might end up doing another live on this. We'll see. This is going to be awesome. I didn't think this was going to come out this dang cute, but dang it. I'm feeling it. Okay, so now my little connection piece here, when it starts to kind of get a little unruly, I'll take something I can poke it with, like a little spatula and form the rope in kind of a tucked in manner how I want it to form that connecting piece, if that makes sense. Let me show you. All right. Okay. And as soon as I get to my edge, woo, it's getting hot in here. As soon as I get to my edge where I'm done with my word, oh my goodness, these sewing scissors. Okay, let me reconnect. Let me get this really quick and then I'm going to show you. And then we're almost done. All right. How cute is that? Okay, there's your Y. All right, so I'm going to do a little something. I have plenty of rope, but I just kind of want to do something a little bit different here because, I don't know, I just kind of want it to be, I got to visualize, I got to visualize, I got to visualize. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Okay. You guys are so in my head right now. Okay. Do you ever have those stuck moments where you're like, dang it, I didn't think that one through. I got the first part in my head, but the other one didn't really stick. Well, I'm having that moment right now. That is for sure. All right, here we go. Boom. Boom. Okay. Okay, here we go. I think this might work as long as I can get this to adhere exactly the way I just put it in and call it good. Okay. Loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. Yes. Hate these scissors. Let me move on to my other scissors. Shorten this up for you a little bit. Okay, I have another little piece right here that needs to come in. So I'm going to finish up this word in like not speed, but just without chit-chatting so you can see this because it is getting a little bit long and I want you to be able to do this and love it because it's so cute. It's so cute. Okay. Going. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to want to do this. This is darling. Okay. Pause for effect. Sometimes I get so lost in what I'm doing. I just get so lost in my joyful space and just making it happen. Oh, dang it, I need another rope bundle. Thank goodness I have one. Cut off my ends before my glue dries. Cut off my ends before my glue dries. All right. Sometimes I just feel like singing. You know that? Sometimes I just like to break into gospel or show tunes. I can't decide sometimes. All right, here we go. So it says, hey, you. Okay. Hey, you. All right. So I still have my gluey brush over here where I have some of, we don't need our wood glue anymore, but I do need my Elmer's glue. And so what I'm going to do over my pad here, come on. Oops, I have the lid on. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue to my sponge, okay? I really want it to kind of just be on my sponge. I don't want to drip anywhere. And I'm going to paint over the top of my rope. Make sure my ends that are frayed are covered. If you get on the wood, don't sweat it because we've already been in the wood a little bit with our decoupaging, okay? So do you see? I'm just kind of spreading it over. And I'm just gonna kind of paint my diluted mixture over my rope. Now be gentle because you have some frayed edges here. So you don't want to get crazy, you know, making sure every nook and cranny is covered, but you do want to have a little bit of this stiffening action onto your rope. So just keep adding a little bit more glue. Keep smearing it into your brush. I think I've used this brush 3 or 4 times now, so you can see how, you know, reusing is a great little technique to kind of really stretch your resources. Okay, I want this one to kind of be right over the top and tucked in. So see, this is where I can kind of fix everything to make it look adorable, to make sure it's got coverage, having a little fraying there, and also recalling that I have some stain on here, because remember we did some antiquing and some stain. So I'm just gonna kind of come in and carry that over my wood, use all the materials that's in my arsenal here. Remember I said I had some edges here. I'm gonna kind of come in and seal those down as best I can because I'll paint over those later. Just kind of get that flat when I do the sides. Set that aside. And I have this cute little rustic sign that says, "Hey you." Okay? Now, when the glue dries, and it will dry, you're going to want to come in and do a little bit more of this antiquing, but I don't have the luxury of doing that because we're kind of at the end of our video. And so I'm going to come in and I'm going to do it while it's wet. So you can see the emphasis of how cool it looks bringing in some of this pigment. Okay, now there's a little bit of black in here. There's a little bit of the photo dye, and I'm just kind of working it into my glued rope, right? So there's a lot of moisture in here to kind of pull out some of this pigment in the last legs of this rope. I mean, of this sponge brush. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of pulling in some pigment. I want this to be rustic. I want this to be ranchy. I want this to be just a fun way to kind of add a little to your decor. There you go. Hey you. Hey you, how cute. I'll finish up the edges. I might add a little ribbon around the edges. I don't know. I'm gonna play with it a little bit, get crazy with it. You get crazy with it. Thanks for hanging out and spending a little bit of time with me, or a lot of time with me, coming up with some fun stuff. This is gonna be super cute when it's all done. It's all said and done. And so watch my other tutorials on cowgirlsandspurs.com in the video gallery so you can see the style of my finishing and see how I ribbon wrap. This one was super easy. I just took some ribbon from our Cowgirls and Spurs custom ribbon collections that I make, and I just stripped it out so that it fit the wood, and then it created this nice kind of pop of color finishing edge. And then all I did was just do a basic, remember we did it in the beginning before we put on the striping and the wood boards. You can do the wood boards on the back too to create this carry through. It's adorable. I might do this on here just to show you. So I'll post pictures. This is going to Farmer's Market on the 23rd. Thanks for coming along. I really appreciate it. Be sure to sprinkle some sugar along, share me, tell your friends about me, bring them along on this joyful ride. I love you all. See you soon.